Yo, Trick 23 back out with another video. We're going to be talking about the Boston Celtics and what they should do this offseason. Now, very disappointing conference finals. Sorry, give me 1 second. Very disappointing conference finals appearance for them this year. Expecting, since the Milwaukee Bucks were eliminated, they eliminated the Philadelphia 76ers, they were expected to have somewhat of an easy rest of the route to the finals. And yet they lost to the Miami Heat, who do not have a better... Just on paper, they do not have a better team. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, Al Horford, Grant Williams, Derek White. You can go on about that roster. The Miami Heat, their best player is Jimmy Butler, then Bam, then Caleb Martin, who played magnificent in this series. But I'm gonna talk about something, and some things are getting taken a little too crazy. Now, people are saying, "Oh, well, the Celtics are guaranteed they need to trade Jaylen Brown. They need to trade Jaylen Brown." Do I fully agree with that? No. But I don't disagree, if you understand what I'm saying. I don't disagree. Some of the trades I've seen, they're not bad. Like, let me talk about this trade. Jaylen Brown 3-team trade. Shout out to Pick a Side Podcast. Raptors get Anthony Simons, Yusuf Nurkic, and the 23rd pick. Celtics get the 3rd pick, which possibly can turn into either Scoot Henderson, or Brandon Miller, with Trendon Watford and a first-round pick from the Portland Trail Blazers in 2025. Blazers get Jaylen Brown, Pascal Siakam. Now let's talk about it from the Portland Trail Blazers standpoint. They get Jaylen Brown, Pascal. They can possibly... I don't know if they'd actually be able to re-sign Jeremy Grant, but they become a threat. Go out and sign. See if you can sign like a Andre Drummond. Go and sign a starting quality center to run alongside what's his name? Who was their backup? Drew Eubanks. Because I don't know if I want to start Drew Eubanks. He did good coming off the bench playing against backups. I don't know how he's going to do against starters. But you do that. Damian Lillard, Jaylen Brown, Cam Reddish, Pascal Siakam, and whoever your center is, Drew Eubanks, center, whatever. As long as you can get a decent center, that's a good starting five. You just got to fill up the bench just a little bit, and you're looking pretty good. You're looking pretty good for the Celtics, or for the Raptors standpoint. You get a young guard in Anthony Simons. You get an aspiring contract in Yusuf Nurkic, I'm pretty sure. Then you get the 23rd pick. It's not bad for you. Maybe see if you can get rid of the Yusuf Nurkic trade in another deal right away. So, because you already have Jakob, you have OG, you have Scotty Barnes, you have Gary Trent, and then you also got Anthony Simons. It's not a bad team to start out with. Anthony Simons, Gary Trent, OG, Scotty, and Jakob or Yusuf Nurkic, whoever. It's not a bad start to a little bit of a rebuild, because OG's like 25, 26. Anthony Simons is 23. Gary Trent's like 23, 24. Scotty's 21, 22. Jakob is like 20. I want to say like 27, 28. So that's a nice young core. Yusuf Nurkic off the bench. Otto Porter Jr. off the bench if he's still there. Just whoever else you have off the bench. That's not a bad start for the Toronto Raptors. That can be a playoff contending team. Championship contending team? No, because you lost your star player. But again, you can have a Scotty Barnes who can kind of fill that void. OG can kind of get his scoring a little bit going. Anthony Simons hopefully try to play a little bit of defense depending on the coach they get. Anthony Simons could be a 20 to 25 point per game scorer. Scotty Barnes could be their 18, 7, and 7 type guy. OG can give you 15 to 20 points a game. Gary Trent can give you 12 points. Jakob can get you 10 and 10. And then whoever's off your bench can give you whatever they can get you off their bench. That's not a bad start for the Raptors. I would love that team. And then Celtics get the 3rd pick, which could either be Brandon Miller or Scoot Henderson, Trendon Watford, and 2025 first-round pick for the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, for a team that is contending, this is a bad trade because Scoot Henderson, Trendon Watford, and whoever comes in that 2025 first-round pick, Those three combined are not going to be what Jaylen Brown was giving you this year, last year, in the next 2 years. Next 3 years, actually, because it's 2025. You ain't getting that same value. I think Scoot Henderson's going to be an all-time player. He got that Russell Westbrook, Derrick Rose, John Morant, Kyrie Irving type game to him. He's got it all. I'm not saying he's not going to be as good as Jaylen Brown, but as of in 2 to 3 years when everything conveys, Trendon Watford is doing what he's doing. Scoot Henderson is doing what he's doing in year 2, year 3, and then the first round pick, whatever he's doing his rookie year, then that's when everything is set in stone. I think Jaylen Brown's going to be better. As of 2025, when that first round pick gets here, Trendon Watford's still playing, Scoot Henderson's still playing. I think Jaylen Brown's still going to be the better player. So that's kind of an L on the Celtics' part because they're trying to contend. You still got Marcus Smart, who's aging. Al Horford's aging. Al Horford's a couple years away from probably retiring. You got Grant Williams, who's going to probably sign somewhere else. You got Brogdon. You got Robert Williams. So you have Derek White. You have an abundance of players that are trying to win. You guys went to trade for Malcolm Brogdon. You re-sign Al Horford to a smaller contract because you guys are trying to win. Trading for the third pick, trading for Scoot Henderson, Trendon Watford, and a 2025 first-round pick would just kind of diminish that. Scoot Henderson's going to be a great player. I'm not saying he's not. But for what the Celtics are trying to do now, Jason Tatum's 26 years old. So he's still young, but they're trying to contend because they have that team. They have 2 superstars. They have a superstar. They have an all-star. They got 2 all-stars. They got someone who can somewhat be an all-star when he's healthy in Robert Williams because he can catch lobs, play defense, grab rebounds, blah, blah, blah. When he's healthy, he's up there in the star-ish, right below a star, but right above what's underneath a star. It's probably, when he's healthy, he can be one of the best, I'd say top 10, I want to say top 10 centers when he's healthy. They got that type of team. My bad. I got notifications on. They got that type of team. They're trying to contend. They went to the finals last year. They've been to the conference finals like 17 times out of the last 6 years. It's been crazy. This year, they fell short. Last year, the Heat fell short. This year, they fell short. So, that trade, I think I'd stay away from that. If they were gonna get like someone that can kind of replicate that. Give me the third pick and give me an OG. Give me a Jeremy Grant. Let me just do a sign and trade real quick. Give me that Jeremy Grant. Like just something that can kind of fill that void because Jeremy Grant, do a sign and trade, third pick, Trendon Watford and that first round pick. Those 4 guys for Jaylen Brown, that's not a bad trade. Because they get Jaylen Brown, Pascal Siakam, Jeremy Grant's walking, Jeremy Grant's out. See if you can get Jeremy Grant in that trade, and then maybe it's a deal. Scoot Henderson at the 1, Marcus Smart at the 2, Jason Tatum, Jeremy Grant at the 3-4, Robert Williams, Al Horford at the 5. Then whoever comes off the bench, it'll be Malcolm Brogdon, Derek White, Grant Williams if you can re-sign him, Trendon Watford, Al Horford or Robert Williams, whoever's not starting. That's another nice team. Scoot Henderson can play make while he can also get buckets. Marcus Smart can literally do what we want him to do, and that's not even necessarily catch and shoot, play great defense and get buckets whenever he can. Jason Tatum, Jeremy Grant, your job, play defense, shoot threes and get buckets. Al Horford, Robert Williams, play good defense in the paint, pick and roll, dunk the damn ball, grab rebounds, play good defense. Boom. Whoever's off the bench, boom. You do your thing. That's what I would do. I would try to get the extra player. The extra player is everything. The second trade, Joe Moran. Again, shout out Pick a Side Podcast. Celtics get Desmond Bane and Tyus Jones, and the Boston Celtics get Desmond Bane, Tyus Jones. Memphis Grizzlies get Jaylen Brown. Now again, not a bad trade. Not a bad trade. I think this one, based on what, before I even mentioned them, the Celtics getting Jeremy Grant, the first trade and the second trade, I think I'd go to the second trade. You get someone that doesn't need the ball. He can catch and shoot. He can get his own shot sometimes. He plays good defense, and he's a sniper, and he can score. Tyus Jones, one of the best decision-making backup point guards in the league, if not the best backup point guard in the league. Can definitely be a starter for a team that's trying to win. And then the Memphis Grizzlies get what they've wanted: a defensive guard, someone else that can handle the ball instead of John Morant and get their own buckets. And you got a nice big three-headed monster in John Morant, Jaylen Brown, Jaren Jackson Jr. Not a bad trade. And then whoever you can get at that 3, and then Steven Adams at that 5, or Xavier Tillman at that 5 because he played really good in the playoffs this year. Boom. You are set with that lineup. You guys can go out and win a championship possibly with that lineup. Way Jaren Jackson Jr. was attacking LeBron, get Jaylen Brown to attack whoever's guarding him, and then John Morant just stays healthy and stays out of trouble. Y'all good. Y'all can compete with the Nuggets. Y'all can compete with the Mavericks if they can do something. Which, again, will be another video in the future. Me talking about every single team, what they need to do. I did the Sixers. I did the Phoenix Suns. Now I'm doing the Boston Celtics because these are 3 teams that specifically need to do something because they're all trying to contend. Same with the Dallas Mavericks, but I'll talk about them later. I like this team. I think it can be a win-win situation. But I think the only problem with the Celtics getting Desmond Bane, Tyus Jones is Desmond Bane can't necessarily... He can create his own shot, but then he can't. He can't do it on the Jaylen Brown level, which he normally was able to. This year, he wasn't so... Game 7 in this series wasn't so much being able to get his own shot. But it happens. He couldn't go left. Couldn't dribble with his left. It was terrible. And now this is interesting. The Atlanta Hawks are the favorite to get Jaylen Brown in a potential trade if he does not remain in Boston, which is crazy. I think the only thing I can think of the Atlanta Hawks trading is DeJounte Murray, John Collins, or something like that. That's the only thing I can really think of. And do you really want DeJounte Murray, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Robert Williams, whoever on the same court? Sure, DeJounte Murray can be a good point guard. He can get 20 points per game. He can play defense, but I mean, it isn't too bad of a trade. I don't know what everything would be involved in, but Jaylen Brown, DeJounte Murray, kind of a swap, and maybe some role players here, role players there. It wouldn't be too bad. Now that I think about it, it wouldn't be that bad. I did like a 5-second talk. I talked myself into not hating that trade. And then the last trade, let me see. The last trade I will talk about, and then I want to talk about something else that I think the Celtics could do, if not trading Jaylen Brown. Celtics should trade Jaylen Brown, or consider 2 Jaylen Brown trades for Portland. This is from Kevin O'Connor. Jaylen Brown for Damian Lillard straight up, or Jaylen Brown for Anthony Simons and the number 3 pick. Now again, neither of these trades are bad, but if I'm the Trailblazers, and I'm trading Damian Lillard for Jaylen Brown, I want a young piece, or I want some picks, which I don't know if Boston has the picks, but if I'm the Trailblazers, trading Damian Lillard, I want to get something for the future. Jaylen Brown's 26, but I want some picks, because just having Jaylen Brown, I don't know if I'd like that. Obviously, Anthony Simons, Jaylen Brown, Jeremy Grant if he re-signs, and then you got to fix some pieces here. It wouldn't be that bad. But I want some picks. Jaylen Brown for Anthony Simons and the number 3 pick. Again, I think that would be pretty decent. Anthony Simons, 6'3", 6'4". Scoot Henderson, 6'3", 6'4". Guards playing alongside Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Robert Williams. Won't be too bad. They'd be right there because I think in 2-3 years, Scoot Henderson and Anthony Simons can possibly be all-star type players. On the Celtics, maybe not. But again, maybe so. Maybe they get 3 all-stars. But that wouldn't be a bad trade neither. But now, one other thing that I was also thinking, instead of trading Jaylen Brown, you make a push at getting a center in like a Karl Anthony Towns. Trade Robert Williams. Trade a Marcus Smart or a Malcolm Brogdon. Go out and get a Karl Anthony Towns, a 3rd all-star, because they've been struggling to get another star. Get a big man that can score in the paint. Someone that can also shoot. Because the Celtics also kind of struggled shooting too. Get one of the greatest big men, the greatest shooting center of all time. One of the greatest big man shooter of all time. Go and get a Karl Anthony Towns. maybe a change of scenery is worth it. Maybe he'll become a decent rim protector and someone that will play some defense on a Celtics team with hopefully a good coach by then. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Karl Anthony Towns. If you include Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon, whoever you include, maybe try to just snag Mike Conley. Try to sign Mike Conley for a small contract, because the Minnesota Timberwolves, they gotta just focus on Anthony Edwards now. Karl Anthony Towns didn't do much in that Denver Nuggets series. Anthony Edwards was Anthony Edwards. With Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and whoever else they had, which it was just Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, in a playoff series with Karl Anthony Towns, that opens up the floor for Cat so much. Jaylen Brown getting his buckets, Jason Tatum getting his buckets. Oh man, Karl Anthony Towns is in the post against the point guard. Boom, give it to him, score. Pick and roll. Towns floats to the wing, floats to the corner, boom, pass, three, boom. It's that simple. The trade seems simple. It's like, oh yeah, just trade for Karl Anthony Towns. It seems easy. Might not be as easy as I'm making it seem, but the Timberwolves, they don't need much. Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, even if they keep Rudy Gobert, just get guys that can shoot. If you keep Mike Conley, or you get Marcus Smart, throw Anthony Edwards right there, Jaden McDaniels, whoever your 4 is, and then Rudy Gobert is your 5, or maybe try to trade him and run Naz Reid at the center. Will they make the playoffs? They might make the play-in, but they might not make the playoffs. That'll be a good team in a year or two. Anthony Edwards will be a superstar at that point. He's already an all-star. He'll take that next step and be a superstar. So that's going to conclude this video of me talking about the Boston Celtics and what they should do this offseason. Either trade Jaylen Brown to the Trailblazers, or trade him to the Grizzlies, or trade for Karl Anthony Towns. If you guys like this video, like these videos, please like, comment, subscribe.